Hey folks, this is Rhykker, and I got a riddle for you. What do you get when you combine Diablo, Elden Ring, Valheim, Breath of the Wild, and Lego Fortnite? The answer is, you might just get one of my new favorite games. Today we're going to talk about Enshrouded, a co-op survival action role-playing game for up to 16 players, but you can also play by yourself, that just released. I know a lot of you folks are looking for new games to play, and in this video I hope to give you enough of an idea of what Enshrouded is all about to decide if this is the kind of game for you. We're going to talk about Enshrouded's mechanics, its gameplay. I'm going to talk a bit about my experience and feelings about the game, but this is not a review, this is an overview. We're going to thank Keen Games for sponsoring this video, but don't be surprised folks if you see me streaming this on Twitch, making more YouTube guides for it, because I genuinely want to make content about this game. And I'm definitely going to be playing it a bunch with my partner. Enshrouded is set within a vast, magical post-apocalyptic world. And I mean vast. The game world is huge and we can explore it in full. The world is one of the flame versus the shroud. The shroud has been taken over the world and we are the flameborn. We have awoken into this post-apocalypse and we're able to wield the power of the flame that can push back this shroud. As you travel throughout the world, you're going to visit a bunch of different biomes, but there's also the shroud that enshrouds different areas, and it's this deadly miasma, and you can only stay in it for so long before it becomes lethal to you. You have this countdown timer, this 5-minute timer that as you power up, you can extend that, but right away it puts the stress on you, and the world within the shroud is all warped and evil is one word for it. Mushroomy might be another. Regardless of the word, it's definitely deadlier in the shroud. But as the Flameborn, you are the last ember of hope of an ancient dying race, and your job is to go out and push back this shroud. And you get to choose your path and how you go about doing that. The world is rich with ancient artifacts to discover, old relics of past civilizations. Also lots of loot and hidden treasure. It's a game about exploration, it's a game about surviving, it's a game about combat, it's a game about puzzles. There are some of these dungeon type things that you enter and there's not a single fight. It's all about traversals and climbing and finding out, oh, how am I supposed to get to the end here? Now, first and foremost, it is a survival game, but one of the things that I actually dislike the most about survival games is having to eat and drink in order to not die. And we've seen a trend moving away from that recently, and thankfully Enshrouded follows that trend. You do not ever need to eat or drink, but eating and drinking will give you various buffs. So depending on what is important to you, you know, if you're a spellcaster, you might want to focus on like gaining intelligence, then you can have different consumables. You can craft yourself different food to get different buffs, and you can have up to 3 active food buffs at any given time. If you don't want to bother with that at all, you don't have to, it's just a bonus. As you go around the world, you scavenge, you gather resources, you craft yourself equipment. Then you got action combat, where you're able to lock onto a target, you can dodge roll, you can block, you can parry, you have different melee weapons to select from. Depending on how you build your character in the skill tree, you might even unlock extra powers to use in melee combat. Plus, of course, you have your ranged weapon, of course, like a bow. You also have wands and staves and can cast spells. You can be a full-on mage if you want, casting fireballs and ice balls and whatever. And of course, there is base building as well. It's a voxel-based game, meaning the terrain is fully destructible and will deform as you want. I always love that. So you can dig yourself a hole, you can try to make yourself Hobbiton, just tunnel straight into a hill. I'm gonna wake up from my nap here and introduce you to my very humble abode for now. We're on the mezzanine. We're gonna look out the window a bit. It's a bit bright outside. Come downstairs, say hello to our our villagers, I guess you can call them. Mind the grass on the floor. We're a hippie commune here. But I haven't had a chance to dive too much into the base building as I want to focus on unlocking all the various crafting mechanisms in the game. Over here I'm planning to build the Tower of Orthanc. It is very early in the works, but it will be a mighty tower one day. You can see castles off in the distance. Over here, I'm doing some farming, growing some food. I got my chest just out here in the open. This magic chest is interesting in that any materials you put in here, if you are crafting something, it'll automatically pull the materials out of there without you needing to put them in your inventory. This is a high level chest. You don't start with that, but really cool feature. We got our crafting bench over here. This is where you build all your blocks to build buildings, so you can build your storage. Grappling hook and glider, we'll talk about that in a moment. But you can, of course, decorate the inside of your house. This gives you comfort. Comfort gives you rest bonuses. So if we come over here, this is where we commune with the flame. This is what you start with. This is how you lay down your base. This is where you establish new bases. It serves as a waypoint. And you can upgrade this altar to increase its range. Basically, you can build within the range of the altar. You can also strengthen it to just give yourself buffs. This is how you will empower your character, raising attributes all around. This also lets you extend the amount of time you can spend within the shroud. So there is long-term progression systems, and you see reset skill points there. And that's because we have this whole skill system in the game. And you see here at the outer edges, you can sort of see where you're going. First off, I mean, blue is kind of mage. Green is sort of dexterity type character. And red is sort of tank melee guys. So depending on what you want to focus on, you want to be a warrior, a tank, battle mage, healer, wizard, trickster, assassin, ranger, beastmaster, survivor, athlete, barbarian. I don't think it's feasible for you to get all these skill points. So I think the general strategy would be, if you're playing in a group, that you all sort of plan out your builds, and because some of these focus on your own personal power for combat, but some of them also help with just the general survival. And, you know, here like lumberjack, for instance, right? Gathering more wood. So if one person wants to be the dedicated lumberjack, you know, maybe he grabs that. Myself here, I grabbed Blink, which replaces the dodge roll ability with the short range teleport. It's super slick. And then I got this upgrade, Blink Attack, where now I explode onto enemies when I blink into them. Super fun. This one over here, Evasion Attack. When equipped with a melee weapon, you can perform an evade attack which dashes towards the enemy and deals more weapon damage. So you can unlock more options to be able to do more attacks within combat. So here are skills that help you draw more aggro. This is just making you better in combat. Over here, Athlete, Jump Attack. When equipped with a melee weapon, you can perform a jump attack, which deals 50% more weapon damage. Double Jump. Oh man, I want to unlock Double Jump now. Allows jumping a second time while airborne. That is so big, because Traversal is a part of the game. Desert Stomach, an additional food slot to stack an additional buff from food. Eagle Eye to get more zoom range on your bow. Bee Sting, you can draw and use your bow while gliding. Look at that. I gotta show you folks gliding in a moment here. In any case, you get the idea. There's a whole skill tree to build your character. This is something that I don't typically see in survival games. Then let's look at my character. You see I have your different equipment slots. I got my fur hood. It's giving me resistance. So a lot of these were crafted. At least all the armor is crafted, and you can craft different tiers of armor from, you unlock different craftspeople over time. Here I made a pretty decent shield. It's okay. Found this rare magic ring. You can find items that have different rarities. The loot you craft is all kind of like baseline common quality, but you can find drops. There is randomized loot drops in the game that will have higher rarities. Will be lower rarities too, but you know, try to get one of those higher rarity items there. And you can see in my backpack, I got over here, for instance, the Guillotine. This is an epic tier axe, and I've upgraded it 4 times. We'll talk about upgrading here in a moment. But here we have an uncommon weapon, a rusty sword. I found this crackling wand. This was my main weapon for a while. Shoots off fire damage. I also have a secondary wand, an ice wand, because sometimes enemies are resistant to different elements, and you'll see like whether your attack is being effective or resisted. So I got my ice, I got my fire so that I'm covered. I also have my staff, which serves as a vehicle to launch magical ammo, which is ice bolt in this case. So wands have infinite ammo, but staves, they shoot ammo like it's like a magic bow, basically. Instead of arrows, you're shooting ice bolts here. So this is ammunition that you can either find, eventually you are able to craft it. Got all our different tools here, of course, to get our resources. This is the construction hammer. This is for placing NPCs. This is for flattening ground. I got my bandages to heal, I got my purple berries to heal, I got my health potions to instant heal. These two apply generation buffs. So this I don't want to have on me. I'm going to get food sick if I eat that. I've done it before, believe me. I actually want to show you another weapon that I have over here. This is like my coolest weapon. Legendary Wailing Blade. I'm pretty sure this is the highest tier item. I fully upgraded it. Unfortunately, I've just out-leveled it, but man, this was a really good item. So as you are playing the game, you're going to get these things called runes. And what runes are used for is for leveling up. Let's go talk to our, anyone really. We go to enhance equipment and you can see that you can apply upgrades on items. The higher the rarity of the item, the more you can upgrade it. And the upgrades are randomized as well, or there's some system, and they're not always the same. So I'm not bothering upgrading my apprentice wand because all I'm getting is defense. Who needs defense, right? Whereas with the guillotine, more damage, more damage, more damage, and I would have gone all the way for the increased crit damage, but I don't use the guillotine a lot. I mostly use sword and board. This is a two-hander. So I've been using my rusty sword a lot, which I just replaced my legendary sword now with this rusty sword. I think it's overall doing more damage for me. All this to say though, you know, there's loot. Obviously it's, you know, it's not going to be like Diablo raining loot all the time, but you are able to, again, craft your items here, right? I think we showed some there. Actually, at the blacksmith is probably we want to show. Right, we can craft our shields. I just made this shield here. You can craft wards. I don't have the resources for these yet, but I look forward to being able to craft these. We got our fur armor set here, which I have some of that. I also got from her a different armor set. I think the scout set, I got some of that. All requiring different resources that you can go find in the game world. And these 5 people here as well, I've gone and recruited these. You start off with none of them, and they are quests in the world for you to go do whenever you see fit. Increasing danger to get them all. I wanted to collect them all before making this video. I've got about 30 hours into this game so far. I've not been playing super efficiently. I've just been exploring and taking in the game a lot. But I legit been playing this game and I intend to play it a lot more. So again, we found all of our people. This is the blacksmith. This is the hunter. So this is where I built a drying rack so that I can start getting some proper furs for my armor. This one over here, this is where you get this one a little later, the alchemist. Now you can start crafting health potions. And this is also where you can start crafting, you know, your magical canes. You can also start crafting, if you want to be more of a wizard-specific gear that's going to give you more mana. Give you even mana regen. I think I saw one of them have. Yeah, mana regen over here. This one over here is the farmer. So from her, I made my seed bed to plant my seeds. You can also make popcorn to give yourself a stamina recharge buff. I love stamina recharge. And this guy here is our carpenter. With this, you can start crafting a lot more interior decor. Give yourself more comfort to get better rested bonuses here if we come and sit down by the flame. You get, you know, comfort level 5, 8. Well, you notice when we were in there, we had comfort level 8. So overall, this game does a lot of things that I really like. Oftentimes when I play survival games, there's aspects that I like and there's aspects that I'm not crazy about. But this one is just kind of loaded with all the things that I do like and I'm happy with. I don't have any real major complaints about the game. Again, like, you know, the hunger system I tend to dislike in games. You don't have one of those. Okay, the bees terrify me. I haven't found a way to kill bees. But let's show off the grappling hook here. So grappling hook is this thing that you will find specific places where you can attach. And so grappling hook will be required for traversal in very specific places. It would have been nice if I could have used it in more, like, anywhere that I want. Like, kind of Spider-Man grapple, that would have been nice. But as of now, this is the use of the grappling hook. So, like, when you start playing the game, for instance, you get this big bridge here, and you cannot cross it until you find yourself, or rather make yourself, a grappling hook. Why? Because you run here, this bridge is destroyed, and we run, and we... Oh, God. And, yeah, well... That's what happens when you die. Oh, okay, speaking of death, you don't drop all of your stuff. That might be another pet peeve for people. So you do drop some things, but all of your gear here you keep. As you can see, I keep a lot of this stuff. Some resources that you've collected, I think. I think it's mostly resources that you have collected. Like if I had a bunch of lumber, if I had a bunch of, you know, twigs, that would all get lost, is my understanding. So for anyone who didn't catch what happened there, I pulled the dumb, and I didn't realize I had no stamina left before using the grappling hook. Using the grappling hook does require some stamina. This here is flint. Different things to... Here, let's spar with this wolf. Or I could just, you know, get hit instantly, of course. But we're going to go show the grappling hook across the bridge again, and then we'll show the glider, which is one of my favorite features in the game. And there's so much, like, depth and verticality to the world. Again, if we pull up the map, it is huge. I'm 30 hours in, and I have barely scratched the surface here. But there's our corpse. Thankfully came back up here. That is kind of the game to do that. So we're gonna wait. See, these are the materials that we dropped. Ooh, geez, yeah. I'm glad I got that back. Those are my coins. I kind of need those. Alright, there we go. Grappling hook across. But we could just dive off of here, but instead of diving off of here, let's show some fast travel. So I unlocked this ancient spire. There are more than one of them in the world, but they serve as fast travel spots. You can also create your own fast travel spots, but you are limited in how many you can make. You eventually upgrade to create more, but look how gorgeous this world is. And I don't think I have the furthest draw distance that I could possibly have enabled currently. See, that's that bridge down there. We were just down there, right? There's the bridge. There's some stuff off in the distance there. Big mountain range over there. I think there's some houses this way. Maybe we'll dive down towards these houses. Visit this little village here. Let's do that. And we're gliding. Just chilling. Taking in the gorgeous scenery. Now you'll notice that this is also costing me stamina. So, do beware. Don't make the mistake that I made and jump and try to glide once you're out of stamina. I think I should have enough to reach bottom here. We'll be good. Land in the midst of a farm, a little abandoned, desecrated village. Not quite desecrated, I guess that's harsh to say. You're just like Battle Royale, landing into the drop zone, right? So, yeah, it's a game about, again, exploration. There's lots of stuff to loot. Again, I haven't had a chance to play any co-op, but it's something that I definitely see myself partaking in the future. Survival games, I'm always trying to find games that I can play with my friends. And we rarely reach a point where we find games that we all enjoy. But survival games tend to have enough in them that there's always something that we can find pleasure and joy in. So again, for me, like when we play with our friends, I tend to be the one building the bases, while my partner, she loves looting things, and there's tons of loot in this game. Other of my friends really like combat, so they're going to be out killing the monsters. Other friends, they like to be building the actual, like crafting. They're crafting the things. So I think this game really hits upon all of those beats really well. Warning to all my friends, I'm going to be pestering the hell out of you to play this game with me. I know you're watching. I think it would also be cool to play this on stream. With 16-player lobbies, we can get a bunch of raiders in with us. But yeah, overall, that is Enshrouded in a nutshell, folks. It's available on Steam now. You can check the link in the description to go find more information about it. But in the meantime, sound off in the comments. What are your thoughts on this game? Is this something that you're interested in, either playing or seeing more content about? If you folks want to see more Enshrouded content, I am happy to start working that into the channel. And that's going to wrap up this video. Thanks for watching. And subscribe to join Rhykker's Raiders for more gaming content.